Uh, but again, we're not pointing fingers. We're not going to get into any heated discussions about anything, but we will get into a discussion about issues if we have them, and we'll move on that way. So I think I got my ground rules down. Am I forget? And we are recording. We do have a guest here, Jacob Garman with Carolina's AGC. Uh, and I think I've seen Bill Stricker online also with AGC also, but we're going to let Jacob speak here in just a little bit about work zone safety. And I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let him do it. I don't want to take any thunder away from Jacob on that. But as we all know in this room and online, we're out there every day working on the road, side of the road, shutting lanes down. I will tell you, the 19th of this month, I just had a article on it come across Monday. I think I got it. It was in Georgia. 68-year-old male was hit and killed by a hit and run driver. And just a few hours later, the state trooper that was investigating that accident was hit and killed by a hit and run driver. So 2 fatalities on the same or within the same work zone within a 6-hour time frame. And that's all I'm going to talk about on work zone safety, because like I said, Jacob would take over from there. But we all know that what we do out there is dangerous, and we put our lives in our own hands every day, and we depend on, I'll even back up off of that. We hope that these drivers are paying attention, driving down the road normal, much less when we're out there working in it. And I'm not picking on anybody in here because we're all guilty of it, but everybody, quite a few got their phones up right now. So we got a ton of distracted drivers out there. You know, how many people you pass, you can't count how many you pass coming in here that had their phones, looking at them going down the road. And I'm not picking on the women in here, but putting on makeup. And the guys is guilty for eating, you know. So it's not one-sided or anything like that. We're all guilty of being distracted sometime or another driving down the road. And again, we're still putting our lives in danger right there also. With that, we'll move on. Tammy, let you do your presentation.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. I always like to remind you that it's February for just about 15 more minutes, and then it's going to be March. It kind of feels like it out there this morning with the wind blowing. So our title screen is actually also going to double this year as our billboard. Thought you guys might want to see that. You'll see that driving up and down the road. Of course, we'll have 5 of our stakeholder sponsors listed across the bottom. But that top section there, that's going to be our billboard this year, and it looks fantastic. We have learned that the message is out there. The call before you dig message is out there. Now we're trying to get the why behind the message, so you can go home at the end of the day. So we want everybody to go home safe. That bunch of hooligans is your education team. You've seen them for a couple years now since we've done this back and forth. But yeah, that's your bunch of education folks. Also 2024 banners. If you're interested in having a banner this year, if you'll please reach out to your liaison, either a text or a phone call or an email. Just let me know that you'd like to have a banner. We're going to have 120 banners available. We will give those out for free. But just reach out to someone and let them know. I'll either have them in my travels around the area, or you can pick one up at the UCC meeting, whichever's convenient. tailgate wraps. In addition, this year we are going to sponsor some tailgate wraps again. This is a fantastic way for your organization to share that 811 safe digging message and have it paid for by 811. We'll sponsor tailgate wraps up to $225 on the tailgate of your truck. We're asking that you're keeping that truck in rotation for 3 to 5 years. The longer, the better, of course. We'll have 26 wraps available this year. You don't have to go to a specific spot. They've been done all over the state. I love that the city of Lexington in Davidson County had 2 of them a couple of years ago, and we paid for them, but they liked them so much that they went ahead and incurred the expense to do tailgate wraps on the other 12 of their vehicles. So now they have 14 vehicles that are rolling around that have that safe digging message on them. I'm trying to get all the good stuff taken care of before we get into the real business. $300 Dare to Dig contest that is up for grabs. So every year we run a contest leading up to National Safe Digging Month. April is National Safe Digging Month, and this year is no different. You'll enter the contest. It only takes a couple of minutes. You could win $300 just by digging a couple of virtual holes. No, I can't participate. Yes, I would like to be able to. I had a young man approach me 2 years ago in Wilmington. I was down there at Piedmont Natural Gas's rodeo. They do a P&G rodeo. And this young man approached me and he said, I always see these contests and I always get the messages. And he said, I always just kind of went, nobody ever wins those things. And he said, I won. I did the contest and I won. So he was forever changed and was a fan at that point. So please consider doing that. Take a couple minutes of your time. Send it out to your friends, get them involved. It's just another way to educate folks. If you are looking for something to do this weekend and you are going to be in the Raleigh area, please come out and visit North Carolina 811 and Dominion Energy at the Dixie Deer Classic. If any of you hunt, fish, I know we have last year when we were there, we had a lot of folks who were there with dogs that also went out with them when they hunted and fished. Thank you, sir. Thank you. What a fantastic event. We'll be out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday talking to folks. We'll have our new education trailer out there educating everyone. We're going to give away a Blackstone griddle and some other goodies. But if you like to hunt and fish, this is a fantastic event just to come out and meet other folks, get gear that you need, and just have a great afternoon in Raleigh. Important dates that are coming up. The next Underground Damage Prevention Review Board meeting is Tuesday, the 23rd of April at 10 o'clock. That will be at the North Carolina 811 Event Center in Greensboro. Please visit the website for information about when, where, and how. The next LRPC meeting is Wednesday, the 20th at 11 a.m. Is it the 27th? Okay, thank you. I almost said that, but date change on the LRPC, the 27th at 11, also at the Event Center in Greensboro. You can visit NCUCC for the meeting link there. The next North Carolina 811 board meeting, that will be the first quarter board meeting, Friday, April the 19th. That will be at Chatola Resort in Blowing Rock. Please reach out to Stephanie Brown at our office if you want to attend, or let me know and I'll get you Stephanie's information. If you've not been to the Chatola Resort, beautiful area. The next state UCC meeting is Tuesday, March the 12th. That will begin at 10 a.m. It is a hybrid meeting, but they are meeting in person at Dominion Energy, 4211 Global Street in Raleigh, if you're interested in making that drive. Go ahead if you want to. You do, just so everybody online can hear you, please.
Okay. Yeah, so our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, March 12th in Raleigh. Hope to see all of those that can attend there. The only thing that I really have is just a reminder, the registration is open for the 2024 Joint NCSC Conference. It's going to be in Charleston, April 30th to May 5th. And I did see, if you're interested in golfing, you better jump on that pretty quick. I did see an email that it's real close to being full. So make sure you check into that as soon as possible if that's something you're interested in. That's all I got.
Lindsay, can you remind folks how much registration is this year? I know there's been an increase.
Yeah. Sorry. Registration to attend is $250.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And folks, there will be free locator training. I know every time one of those joint conferences is held, free locator training is available. I'm going to just give a short little, Ann, go ahead. Ann's one of the members of the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board, and she's actually here where she can give a little overview herself.
So as you see here, we reviewed 56 cases, and we're seeing more excavators placing complaints. Obviously, we're still seeing our pipeline operators placing complaints. But of those 56, 55 were reviewed. One was tabled to April when we meet again. But of those, 8 were dismissed for lack of evidence. So what does that mean, lack of evidence? It could have been that there was no documentation there, no photos, anything to correlate that there was a violation to that complaint. So with that, we did dismiss 8. 18 of those 56 did receive Pipes Plus training. So what that means is we've got a matrix set up. Unless it is a gas damage, if it's a first offense, most likely they're going to get a Pipes Plus training. But if there is gas involved, they're going to automatically get a $500 fine along with that. If they come back again to the review board within 24 months, it goes to the $1,500 fine. And then the third time within that same 24 months, $2,500. And then it's $2,500 after that each time. So if we review three complaints and it was within that 24-month time, they would have racked up $7,500 in fines from that particular agenda. Of those, we did issue $73,500 in fines. And so just a reminder, once those violations go out and there's, a 30-day time period for that person to appeal. And then if not, it does go to the Utilities Commission. It's docketed, and then you'll receive the order. My understanding is they're about 3 months behind issuing those orders. So though we reviewed those cases in January, they most likely may not go out to April or May, the orders. So just wanted to kind of give you an update on that. We do have we had some discussion about issues that we're seeing over and over. So we have relayed that to NC 811. To Lewis, and there is going to be a meeting next week to begin looking at opening up the law. And so at that point, they are going to be meeting with Senator Michael Lazar And from there, we'll see if he'll be able to sponsor the bill and begin that whole process and then bring those stakeholders together. So with that, I'll turn it back over.
We'll have one question that I was asked if you want to touch on it. Where does that money go?
So it automatically goes back to the state into their fund. I think it's for the schools, is it?
Education
The
fund.
education.
Very much
So-
like the lottery system.
And that's a good point because we are dealing with this issue. If you were to receive a fine, please note on our website that there is an address, and that address goes to the Department of Commerce, and that's where you will need to send your fines, those payments for those fines. So please do not send them back to the Underground Review Board. We do not collect the money. It goes back into the Department of Commerce, and then the Utility Commission will document that on the docket. Any questions?
Would you hand that microphone back to Dan for just a moment? We skipped right past, but Dan, any updates for the LRPC? Anything you want to share from that?
No, not really, other than the date is coming up there in March. So yeah, I don't think I have anything specific right now.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. For calendar events for North Carolina 811 and for UCC events, please visit nc811.org, or you can go out to the NC811 app that I can't remember, Roger, how much is that app in the app store?
I think it's free.
Free 99? Okay,
Yep, free
thank you very
99.
much.
That's with a F too, not a T. Free 99.
Tip of the month, a ticket number does not equal a valid ticket. When a notice is requested for the purpose of excavation or demolition, the information provided by the excavator has to be correct. Incorrect information can lead to delays for excavation crews, damages at the excavation site, and member operators not being notified. A couple of weeks ago, I had someone call who needed some assistance in getting a locate completed, and they said, it shows in positive response, but everything's marked, and they were just spitting fire. They said, there's no paint on the ground. Nobody's been out here. And they went back through after we talked, and I reached out to the different locators, and they said, yeah, we've already marked that property. Turns out that the excavator had missed the address by one. So, make sure that you're putting in the correct information. And with that, finally, into locate requests for the month of January. Locate request, 226,603 locate requests for the month. Folks, that's an 8.4% increase over January of 2023. And being that that's the first month of the year, that's also our month and year to date. Transmissions for the month of January were up 8.9%, 1,228,783. Short and sweet transmissions, how many utilities are notified about every single locate request? Right now, on average, 5.3 utilities notified about every single locate. For Mecklenburg County, new tickets, that middle column in dark gray, new tickets were actually down 15,277, a 7.3% decrease for the month of January. And total tickets were actually down. Total tickets include retransmits and updates. Total tickets for Mecklenburg, 27,935, an 8% decrease. Average locates per day for Mecklenburg County, 1,470. again, being as that's the first month of the year, that's the ticket for the month and year to date. Of those almost 28,000, 22.5 of those were in Charlotte itself, Huntersville at 2339, and then Cornelius and Matthews in the 800s, 838 and 887 respectively. Damages for the month, there were 942 damages reported for the state. Mecklenburg County had 131 of those damage events that were reported. And then just a little brief graph there to kind of show you those damage events. Last year in January, 746 damages, and we shot straight past that at 942. And I'm torn between, dang it, there's more damages, or is it really that they're being reported as required by law? Because I know a lot of times folks don't report those damages, so they're up. Damage events per 1,000 transmissions, just again, comparing apples to apples to show you really where those damages are really higher per transmission. You can see there that Mecklenburg was in the green this month. I was happy to see that damages came down for Mecklenburg County. Union, however, had a larger rate of damages per transmissions. And then those red folks out there, those are the ones that had the highest number of damages per transmission. Again, we want to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples and not saying, well, Union had this and Surrey had that. Well, Union County has really got a tremendous amount of construction happening right now, as opposed to maybe Surrey County in the mountains, not quite as busy. Oh, Court, I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure Roger saw that Wake County was down again this month. Friendly competition.
I was trying to get her to pass by that pretty quick, Court, but I appreciate you catching that.
He sure did.
Hey, I brought that up at the Wake meeting and said it's great to have a little friendly competition and working on this and trying.
All right, you got us this time.
Thank
And
you,
last
Court.
month. All right, bye-bye.
Top 10 callers. And I always want to preface this is not someone doing something wrong. Of those almost 28,000 locate requests, these were just the top 10 ticket callers for the month. Utility lines, AT&T Utility Operations, ANSCO, LKN Underground, Mears, Metrotech, Pike, Prince Telecom, RH Underground, and Hyper Networks represented in the House this morning. Folks, just, letting you know where that work is coming from. This is our, yes, sir, Ray.
Where you had utility lines and AT&T and all that, the tickets that they called in. Is there any way you can compare how many tickets they called in to how many damages they had?
As a matter of fact, there is. Sort of.
So, first of all, we need you to come to the LRPC because this is where we really dig into the data. Remember damages, they're only reported based on the type of damage. It doesn't say, okay, it was ABC construction. Okay, so we don't have names matched up to that. Everybody's required to report them. So damages, once again, you do not have a name associated with that damage. Now, what we do have is a ticket associated with it. If they provide us that, then yes, we can take a look at that. And as a matter of fact, Lewis has, I think it was last month, and I'll pop in here and look. He did some research on that where there were damages associated with tickets. And I can speak with you offline, but yes, we are looking at that.
With that, all of that information will be available at ncucc.org, along with a copy of our roster and this recording from our meeting. So if you need information from that, it's going to be available out there for you. With that, sir, handing it back over to you.
I'm gonna sort of coattail, if you can go back to the top 10, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. I did find that document. So what he did is we looked at the number of tickets, and he was really focusing on the 999s and where those damages came into. So of those three, of the ones that received a 999, the bulk of those were for 3-hour tickets. Okay, so that means no one responded. 52.6%. Then we looked at what was considered a rush. So anything outside of a 3-day window, depending upon when you said you're going to dig, either becomes a rush, a short notice. So, and a short notice is going to be within 4 hours. So if someone says we're going to be digging within 4 hours, the law says, well, you have to give me 3 days. Of those, 32.25% on the rush, which is less than 3 days, and that's just a priority, 41.85%. So I'll share this document with you so you can kind of take a look at it, but we are digging down into that data.
You've got that.
Yes, sir.
My question was gonna be how many, because that's almost 8,200 tickets, if my math's right. How many of those were updates that didn't need to be updates? And I know we talked about this in the LRPC.
So we are still, I think last month we were at what, 32.7%. And I know when we started LRPC, we were around 27, 28% updates. So it has ticked up. And, we continue to focus a lot of energy on that. And I know just a couple of days ago, I met with one of the contractors. It's not on this list. It's actually over in the Johnston, Wake County area. So we've invited them to the LRPC. We provide a list of these update tickets. So, and I'll use Utility Lines Construction. I pull a list of all their updates. I give it to Dan because he is, he has the ability to make that change. The ANSCO, we pull that list for them monthly. I send that to Tim Yarbrough. Then I also send it to AT&T. So those are the type things that we're looking at. But going back to, the whole focus is reducing the updates. That helps the locator respond to the tickets. The other issue, and I was talking to Lindsay about this, we're going to address it at the LRPC. So you may have, and I'll just use a road contractor, you've got someone working for DOT. They say their project's going to last 4 years. They've updated it 85 times. When you go back and look at the ticket itself, it says locate such and such, both sides of the road and in the road for a possible road bore. Every time that gets updated, what are you guys as locators going to do? You're going to have to respond at some point, or you've agreed to a marking schedule. So if we can get them to understand at some point, just stop updating it. Go out, check your job site, put in a new ticket that only has the area that you're really working in. So that helps them, it helps the locator, it helps the whole process. So that's just one little, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but that's just one little piece of the pie. There are so many things that, overall add to the pot. The other thing that we're going to be really preaching and continuing to preach is meetings. pre-cons, meetings throughout the project. I mean, the more we can get everybody talking to each other, the better. Because at the end of the day, when I go and I ask these folks, are you attending your UCC? Well, no. Well, we can't help you if you don't come to the table. I can give you the resources, but if you're not going to come to the table and be a part of it, don't complain. So sorry, I didn't mean to drag that answer out, but those are some of the things we're working on in our division.
What's one-sided? They won't help, but they won't help us. And before we dig too deep into the numbers and all of that, we'll let Jacob go ahead and do the work zone thing. Or you want to do a quick update for Nuka? And then Jacob can do.
I'm Jason Walker. I'm with State Utility Contractors, and I'm the chair for the NUCA, the Carolina Safety Committee. We just finished up a meeting last month, and we started this year with work zone safety throughout the Carolinas, and we actually had Jacob was our key speaker at that meeting as well, just because of some of the stuff that the AGC is doing to help protect our folks that are out there in the work zone. And I know for everybody in here, if you're out there on the road marking and stuff, you guys are just as a big a risk for that as any of us are, if not more. For our guys, we at least have a work zone set up. You guys are out there on the roads. Distracted driving is ridiculous, especially in and around Mecklenburg County. So we're going to focus on that throughout the whole year. Our next meeting is going to be May 14th, I believe, in Durham. We're going to have that at Sunbelt Rentals. They've got a new facility up there. And we're going to actually, the way we started out, we had Jacob come in and to talk about what's kind of going on at the state level through legislation and stuff to try to throw some stuff out there in an awareness program. And he'll go more into that in a few minutes. And then what we're going to do is start at the state level, and then we're going to drop down to the actual work zone, setting up the work zone, how we need to do that, what are some of the things we can look at, and then we're going to do worker on foot after that inside the work zone. How can we keep from hurting our own folks? So hopefully it'll be a pretty good program. If you guys are interested, please come out and check us out if you can. We do travel around the state. So we'll be in Durham, and then we're going to go to Greensboro in August. And then I think we'll be back here in the Charlotte area to finish up in November for the year. But if you need more information or want more information, let me know. We'd love to have you in the committee.
Any questions for Jason? All right, buddy, it's all you. Oh, wait a minute, I was going to announce, we do have 2 new people that's first time meetings, and Daniel and Amber with United Rental Trench Safety, and we appreciate y'all being here.
Good morning. Like Roger said, I'm Jacob Garman. I'm with Carolina's AGC. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with who we are. I work with Bill Stricker, who I'm sure you all know. I'm our director of safety, and one of my main jobs is I head up our safety committee. Our safety committee meets quarterly. It's made up of about 80 different safety directors from our member companies. And one of the great things we get to do in these meetings is we have representatives from the Department of Labor for both North Carolina and South Carolina, because we cover both states. So these meetings, they're very good feedback meetings. We like to get into discussions on current trends and things we're seeing in the safety world. And about a year ago, one of our members up near Raleigh had an employee get hit and killed in a work zone. So that brought up that topic for that next meeting. And as we started going around the room, sharing stories and things we're seeing, pretty much everybody in the room had this similar story of, hey, we're seeing more work zone intrusions, more accidents, more of our employees getting injured, near misses. So we've definitely got a problem there. So what we did, we formed what we call a subcommittee, which has about 12 of our members on it. Most of them are big highway contractors, some utility contractors, guys that are working with work zones a lot. And we started putting our head together. One of the big things we wanted to do was start putting blue lights on every construction vehicle we could get our hands on. We figured out real quick, hey, that's not a route we're probably going to be able to take, but we took our shot there. The main thing we figured out that's going to work good for us is out in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma legislature, they got with a guy that came up with a software program that's a virtual 1 hour class that all new student drivers have to take in order to get their driver's license when they turn 16. It's an interactive course. It goes over work zone safety, how to recognize them, how to, react to the signs they see. Because some of these kids, when they're hitting a work zone, it's the first time they're seeing these signs, these barrels, they don't know what to do. So it kind of walks them through that. You're able to give a story of who the contractors are. So they see the people that are out there, not just, these are guys out here working. They see that, hey, you guys have families. You're wanting to get home just as safe as they are. So it's a very good program. It's been very successful in Oklahoma. So we reached out to the guy that put that together and got that legislation passed. And he was able to come down and meet with us. We have a lobbyist in South Carolina, Leslie Clark. She set up a meeting with me, Leslie, the guy that designed the software, and a couple of our members to meet with Christy Hall, the DOT secretary down there. We met with her. We did a quick presentation on what the program was. She seemed very enthused by it. So we started getting some ideas for the legislation that's going to need to be required. We've got that legislation filed in South Carolina in the House, and also it just got filed in the Senate last week. So we're just starting the process on that. That's kind of the high route we would like to take. If we're not able to get that actual software required and the class approved and something that's a requirement, our next option is just to have the test itself kind of modernized and updated to include questions on work zone safety. So it's something that the driver is still learning as they go to take that test. And one of my questions was, well, what about the people that are already out there on the road driving? And what the idea was there was, say you're speeding in a work zone, you get caught, it's your first offense. In lieu of paying the fine, you can go take this class, do the 1 hour training, bring your certificate to the clerk of court or whoever, and get that ticket, kind of reduced down that way. So that's the way we'd be able to outreach to drivers that are already out there. And then another cool part of this program is a hands-on demo at schools. So our contractors, our members, they would be able to go to high schools, set up mock work zones for students to go to, start seeing those signs, kind of get an idea on what they're looking at. So that's kind of where we're at legislatively. Still working through that. We appreciate any help we can get on that. In North Carolina, we're in talks with DOT and DMV about what that legislation is going to look like, because it's probably going to be a little bit different in North Carolina than South Carolina. But we're moving in that direction in North Carolina. And another thing North Carolina has adopted that we've been able to get some help with is getting actual more blue light trailers placed in work zones in North Carolina. I think they got an additional 60 or so on order. I know we've got a few already being put out there, but one of the big things that's going to help with that is the contractor is going to be able to move it. You're not going to have to call highway patrol out there to move that trailer, which is something that needs to get done. So the drivers are not just seeing that, getting used to it, and it not affecting them getting to slow down like it should. We're also looking at doing automatic ticketing with those trailers to where if you speed past and it shines those blue lights at you, guess what? You're going to get a ticket in the mail in a few weeks. So that's something else we're looking at that's, pretty far off, I'm sure, but we're out there, we're trying. Any questions, any feedback, anything you guys are seeing that we can help with, please let us know.
Just getting caught. Thank you, Jacob. We all know that we've got to do whatever we can. And like Jacob was saying, if anybody has any ideas or suggestions or anything like that, just let him know. And all the help we can get's helpful. Are we supposed to do the Pledge of Allegiance now, or? Getting back to the numbers though, she sent me this presentation yesterday and I looked through it and I went back through it this morning, and that's where I come up with that almost 8,200 tickets just out of those 10. And I promise you, I'm not picking on them, but if we cut that in half, that puts us down to a little over 23,000 tickets a month, which in turn is going to take a load off of the locators. So anything we can do to help, and Jason's the only other contractor in here that I see. Do you get the emails wanting to know if they can push that ticket out for a little bit? I get those. Requesting to push a ticket out for another day or two. And that's hard on contractors because everybody schedules their work. And I will say thank you for helping us the other day. And that's what's good with these meetings. You make these contacts. We had an issue on some city it's not an issue, needing some help locating something. George being at these meetings, us making the contact, I reached out to him. We set a time and a date. There's out there, got it marked for us. But that's the benefit of these meetings, making contacts and everything else. But back to the numbers, we need to do whatever we can do to help each other. And you know, I always say, as Sam Gonzalez always said, clean your own house with your tickets. Make sure that lady in the office or guy in the office, whoever's doing it's not updating tickets where that project's complete. Or like Ann was saying on, who am I waving at?
No, I've got the slide here, not obviously
Oh,
there.
okay. That one contractor just over a bore kept updating that ticket, updating that ticket, updating that ticket. That ticket should have never been updated. More than once, I will say. To do a bore unless they got up in there and run into some hard rock or something like that, then that's understandable. But 84 times, come on.
That translates roughly.
I was gonna say, I can't do it. I was trying to do that math in my head.
$10,000 in locates.
Okay,
Rough. That is the most rough math.
that's costing all of us. I was gonna say, boy, that facility owner's having to pay for that, but no. Dan's walked out, so I'm gonna pick on Duke Power. How many power bills was out the roof last month? Yeah, there was some kind of expense or charge in there. Yeah, so we're all paying for it. They're having to pay the locators to go out and locate it, but in the end, we're paying for it. Everybody sitting in here. I mean, live in the city of Charlotte. You're paying for them locates too, with your city taxes. You know, the more we can do to lower this, the better off we all are, is the best way to look at it. And yes, are we the largest county, or is Wake? Court, you got that, didn't you, buddy? But being the largest county in the state, almost 28,000 tickets in a month. Boy, that's crazy. There is a lot of work going on. But whatever we can do, and I always say help the locators, but which in turn helps the contractors. And Blaine, I'm sorry, you're a contractor too, buddy. And I apologize for not, you sitting here with her and that just, yeah. But whatever we can do to lower these, the better off we'll all be. And again, like Ann was saying too, I know I'm preaching to the choir also, but if we could take this back and share this with everybody in the offices or other contractors that you see out and about working, share it with them. Invite them to these meetings. And they're going to tell you, oh, I'm too busy. I ain't got time. Everybody in here is busy, but they made time. You know, if you look at these meetings as, in a roundabout way, a safety meeting also, because we're trying to protect our employees, right? Number one goal is for everybody to go home at the end of the day. That starts from the facility owners, making sure their maps is up to date so that when it is sent to that locator can locate everything that they have. Your power and gas is the two quickest things to kill you. So that's the two main things that need to be located. And us as contractors, Blaine, Jason, and myself, how's that, Blaine? I got you that time, buddy. Oh, you are, I'm sorry. You're new, so, and I need to get this sign-in form back there too. All right, so we got 5 contractors in here. We all rely on the locators because that's what everything comes down to. There's another. To get everything located so we can make sure our people go home safe, which in turn, the locators are relying on facility owners to make sure their maps is up to date. So it's a full circle effect. It's not just one person. You know, from a contractor standpoint, you go out there and you damage something, all the public sees is that contractor. It's the contractor's fault. You cut my Jerry Springer show off when you hit my cable line. And that's the contractor's fault. You know, they don't understand the whole process. Maybe it wasn't located. Maybe the facility owner didn't have it on the maps for the locator to locate it. You know, that's that full circle thing there that your average citizen doesn't realize. So working together, we can get through this. While I'm standing here, are you gonna do it or you may go over here to her? There we go. But looking at TikTok, we need a report.
Dates for the
Uh, Come on, get it, spit it out, Trace. Come on.
All right,
What you got?
I got two AT&T lines that were marked that were hit and one that was not marked that was hit. 3 Spectrum lines that were marked and 4 that were not marked that was hit. And, oh well. P&G, we had 2 that were marked and 2 that were not marked. Now for the fun part. Water lines, we had 20 services hit last month and 8 mains. No, not that we done, that we had to fix. And sewer, we had 5 services that were hit and 1 main, and then we had 1 sampling station hit. Sampling station. You know what a sampling is? Okay. Sometimes they're hit by a car, sometimes they're hit by somebody out there digging. I've had cars back, I've had Duke people out there doing poles and they back into them sometimes. And
Y'all break that down as the automobile accident versus.
yeah, and usually I do. I just didn't with the sampling station because I don't remember which one it was and I didn't look at it that quickly. That's why I don't tell you about hydrants. We probably had about 8 hydrants hit, but they're all by cars. So sampling stations, it could go either way.
This much damage, but automobile accident did this.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Blaine, you got any, oh, wait a minute, Tracy's got something.
This is David Smith. He's our new damage investigator. So he'll be here every month with me. He just started as a damage investigator this week.
Okay.
Santiago moved up.
Welcome, David. We look forward to seeing you every month. I don't want to see you out there in the field, though. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. But welcome. All right, Blaine. Wait a minute. Ray's got something. Let me. Was all the. Wait a minute. Here, everybody online can't
Well, I
hear.
mean, we're all about, it's all about damage prevention. I just wondered if we knew who the top damager was, you know? Okay. How do you know that? Yeah, how do you know that? They call in. Who do you work for, ma'am? Who do you work for, sir? You know, I'm just wondering, that would be something for you guys to take Well, you can't target, you can't, not what, I shouldn't say target. You shouldn't try to, I mean, that would be a way where you could reach out to educate the top damager.
We know the type of work that's being done.
Okay.
Ray, quit calling me out like that. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Blaine, we'll try this again.
Who thought it was a good idea to tail on ourselves every month? I don't know that I pulled any numbers, but I do know we hit a gas service Tuesday. I haven't really gone through the damage investigation packet yet, but the photos I've seen so far, it looks like it's properly marked, but I'll have to compare it to the damage investigation because I wasn't on site. And sometimes, as we know, crews will show you the information they want you to see. So I try to get out to all of them myself, but I didn't make it. So I'll compare our photos to theirs and see which ones I believe. Other than that, I'm sure we had something, but I'm not pulling it off the top of my head. But we are soft digging as much as we can because we've told you started our own soft dig service. Trying to educate our utilities on why it's important for them to help fund these soft digs because sometimes spotting a 60-inch water line in the middle of the road costs more than a bore, you know. So I get utilities that want to pay me $3,000 to bore the road, but it costs $4 to find that thing. So we spent a lot of time. Exactly. But, you know, their name's going to be on the news also. So we try to educate them of that. Like, and one big thing we push, and because we have an engineering department, we can have some control of that, is to have the required soft dig on the city permit and on the state permit. That way there is no, oh, well, you didn't need to do that. It's like, no, it's on the permit. So when we engineer our permits, we're putting our soft digs on there in advance so that when the city reviews it and approves it, everybody already knows there's a 60-inch water line in there and it's going to be spotted. I think if everybody can try to engineer their projects with those soft digs on there, it'll go a long ways with convincing people that it has to be done. Because right now, I think a lot of contractors think, oh, that's an option. Tracy's not out here. She don't know me personally, so she's not going to come gig me. But once it's on the permit, it's kind of gospel. So that's our take on it.
I'm gonna get on Jason, not get on him, but when we send the boring crews out there, you know, that's the ones where I hate to say takes up the most time trying to find stuff before they do a bore. And doing the soft digs and everything is a lot cheaper. Jason, what you got, buddy? Anything?
I got nothing.
No, come on now.
All right, I will say, it wasn't, I kind of got pulled in to help another company. Just make sure, I'll just stress that you're looking at your tickets and making sure that everybody has either signed off on them with positive response. We had a situation where they called in and they called in a 3-hour and everybody except for one utility company came out and checked it off. Everything was good to go, but then they ended up hitting that one that didn't make it out there. So just check your tickets and make sure that everything is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, you know, before you start digging into things. So.
Thank you. Cody, you got anything? I know you do.
Like how many damages we had. So for the month of January, we had 8 total outfall damages for locators. 5 of those were because we just didn't mark the service in the scope, and then the other 3 were actually mismarks, out of tolerance. And that's all we had. It's down from 13 from previous year. So that's the goal, is to trend down every month, every year. That's all we got.
Correct me, Ann, is it 5-year 50%? The 5-year 50 and 5 that we're trying to work on. You got anything on the old fiber side?
Scott Sherrill, Hyper Networks here. Hyper's been doing a lot of Google work in the northern part of the county, up in the Huntersville area here lately. But we are migrating back down towards the Charlotte area. We are at the Mount Holly, Huntersville, Brookshire Road area, doing a big project over there. We've just started a big project on Morris Chapel, Little Rock Road area. And then we will be starting a big project in the near future near Albemarle Road area. Been AWOL a few last few meetings. Glad to be back. So as far as damages off the top of my head, I know we haven't really been into anybody. We have a monthly meeting with Mr. Neely, so I know our gas is good for the last couple months. Proud to say that. I think there was a few AT&T lines we may have got into on Mount Hunters Road. I don't believe they were accurately marked, but that's just me thinking right now. So next meeting, I'll be a little bit more prepared, but glad to be back and look forward to working with you guys like always. We've got a great relationship with you folks. We think we do a pretty good job, and that's because you guys are so easy to work with.
Thank you for that. And again, we are glad you're back and everything. Andy, what you got? How you doing?
I'm good. I could tell you what we've seen is not so much us hitting anything, it's theft. I'm talking cutting cable out of PEDs, 485, that exit ramp there, at Matthews, the new one. I mean, we can't leave anything out there. Cutting slack off poles. I know for stealing cable. Uh-huh. I mean, breaking in our truck. I mean, it's just been crazy. I know they got Windstream over in Union County. We just dug some cable up, put it back because some guys were putting storm drains in. We came back the next day, they cut the damn fiber, took the fiber. I was like, wow. So that's all I've been seeing is cable theft on jobs. So yeah, zero. Zero. Maybe they didn't get the memo. But just malicious, and some of the damage that I saw out there on 485, I mean, some of it was, opening PEDs and cutting cable off at the base. I mean, some of it was malicious, but other parts of it, like I said, a couple 100 feet of slack here and there. I mean, just bad news. No, man, it wasn't me. I don't know. Maybe Blythe wasn't working fast enough. I don't know. Just get it out of the way. But yeah, no, that's all I've been seeing and all we've been dealing with.
Yeah, I like your question though. What is the scrap price on fiber? Yeah. How you been, buddy? Good to see you. What you got?
Mike Baker with Google Fiber. I pretty much gonna co-sign everything Mr. Sherrill said. We're working hand in hand. So I don't really have much to say add to what he said.
I'm just trying to think of what to say right here with these two. What you got, Tristan?
Not much. Just wanted to, had some locators kind of reach out asking about, possible work with the city. Just kind of wanted to remind that any locators or anyone that wants to do work with the city, kind of constantly look at our website under procurement, because there are opportunities and some coming up, that I've been told, for locating, and specifically. So just kind of keep an eye on the website. And there may be some opportunities for people. So. And also one other thing, if you guys want to share, and I've got a couple contacts, updates for people for us to reach out to help this communication like we're talking about, specifically for our PMs to work through tickets and stuff if they need more time or have questions. If y'all want to get with me so I can keep an updated list, that'd be great.
Thank you, Tristan. You got anything you need to add? Hey, Ron, yeah. Of course, always.
Run your neighbors, Piedmont Natural Gas. For the month of January, we had 31 damages. So we topped you. I was not looking forward to saying that in front of Ray. I don't know what percentage that is of the 131, but it's 8 of them were no calls to 811. 9 were locator errors. And from what I'm seeing, only 2 were internal. So
Still don't
When I say 31 damages, it doesn't mean that we did it. It means that it was a gas line of ours damaged. So it doesn't mean we did it. Okay?
You got anything else from Sam's side? I know you did the. Okay. Okay. What's happening, Daniel? I know you got something.
Congratulatory. Good morning, Daniel Dempsey with Charlotte Water. Really just gonna say, I appreciate all the phone calls. I have seen an uptick for the code 55 and critical facilities. So on the contractor side, the job is being done to reach out to us so we can make sure that it is indeed verified. And we've even done even better on, based on the scope of your ticket, if you're nowhere near our mains, we've been doing pretty good in getting out there and getting you cleared so you can get right back to work.
That's good to hear that you're getting more people contacting you on that code 55 versus the way it's been, I'd say 6 months ago till now. I'm sure you've seen a lot more. Okay, well, good. That means that message is getting out there. All right, Ray, she said you was giving a report for Sam.
We cut 2 telephone lines, not marked. Tickets closed out as marked. Street light, not marked. Ticket closed out as marked. No paint.
That's all.
That's all we cut. Now, we found a bunch. So.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Neely. Oh, yeah, I know you still got something to say though. Come on, Rob. Come on, bud. You back here with all your Baptist friends. Come on now.
No, I don't have anything to say, but I know that Tracy and myself are gonna work together, the utilities, so we're gonna try to see what we can do to cut down on damages in the Charlotte area, Mecklenburg. So we'll put something together to team up. So. Oh, we meet with contractors. It's just that the meetings, you give training and then you give meetings and some classes and things that continue to happen. So we're gonna take another avenue.
You meet with the
Oh, you got me stopped.
Thank you, Robert. Daniel, Amber, y'all got anything to say since you're here for first time, right? At one of these meetings? Okay. Roger. You got anything?
Always.
Uh-oh.
I'm the Eastern Regional Safety Manager for Illuminate Transportation Technologies. We work kind of underneath DOT. We have 2 different factions. We have preventive maintenance and our technical side that we do alongside 40, 85, and like that. And then we have our construction, which we replace light signals. We do installation of the flash boards that are over the highways. We also do some of the cameras that are on the side of the highways, do loops. I mean, almost anything that we can do with information on highways, that's what we do. But we are new to the area. I'm wanting to get very, very involved with 811. I have 14 years in oil and gas, and I can tell you stories that'll curl your hair about things that have not been marked. We have lost one of our foremen due to a drunk driver coming through and they're doing a road bore. I can't tell you how passionate I am about traffic zone safety. So I'm just here to meet people, to get involved, to get on committees, and just looking forward to working with everybody.
Thank you. Did I miss anybody in the room? Oh, Daniel tipped his hat. I thought he was waving his hand back at me. All right, what about online? Anybody online have anything?
Can you hear me? This is Joel Calabrese.
Yes, sir.
All right, Joel.
Okay, thank you. I just want to piggyback on the positive side of what Rania was reporting. Damages this month versus last month. Overall gas damages, my records show last month there was 39 damages over all the categories. And this month there was 29, and the numbers that I looked up. So that's a tremendous drop from one month to the next. And also, if you look from year to year, DPT, each of the past years, 21 through 23, the damage per thousand has gone from 2.3 to 2.17 to 2.15. It's a steady decrease, which is also good. And January had an extremely good DPT at 1.18. So if we could continue on the trend, I just want to give you all a bunch of kudos because that does show you're working together. I know there's still room for improvement, but thanks for working with each other. Sam and Heath and the contractors. It's just this tells me that everyone's trying to help each other. And I just ask that you continue to do that. So thank you.
Thank you, Joel, but that is a good trend, as you were saying. I mean, it keeps going. Thank you for writing that down, man. I was trying to keep it up in my head, but yeah, we keep trending down so that if we can keep that up and like you said, it's everybody working together to make this happen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again. Anybody else online? Bill, do you have anything
Well, thank you, Roger. I was just about to speak up. The only thing I have is that I do have a meeting scheduled with Doug Carlson, who is the executive director of NUCA at the national level in March. We are going to be discussing a partnership between AGC and NUCA to see what we can do to promote better utilization and more utilization of the dirt reporting tool, not just here in the Carolinas, but nationwide. So I'll have more to report out on that after we meet in March. I try to come to this local meeting as often as I can, but most of the time I'm at the statewide meetings. So, and I'll be reporting out on that there as well. That's about all I have at this time.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So you must be meeting Doug down at the convention.
Right after.
Okay. All right. Eric with the town of Matthews.
Nothing for me. Thank you.
Court, you have anything else?
No, Roger, great meeting and like I said, don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay. Marshall. Kevin. Kevin, you have anything? Got crickets going on. I see Carl Wilson's name up there. Mr. Wilson, you on there?
Yes, sir, Roger. I'm right here. I don't have anything to add, but appreciate you, young man, and thanks everybody for what you do.
Thank you, Carl. Nothing from the board side that you got?
No, nothing new. We do have a meeting coming up, and correct me, Tammy and Ann. I think it's in April, I believe. So hopefully I have some more information.
19th, yes, sir. April 19th, sorry.
Oh, no worries. So after that, hopefully I have some information for you.
Thank you, Carl. David Talbert. Oh, he had to leave, so I'm sure he's not going to be able to tell us anything. Teresa, you have anything?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott Marshall. That was that.
No new, good news. I got nothing.
Justin, you have anything? Who? Bruce, what about you, buddy? You got anything?
Believe it or not, no.
It's good to hear a lot of old voices though. And I don't mean old as in years.
Hey, we appreciate you being here. All right, Heath Ferguson. I see you clicked off, Heath, but still nothing's coming across. Okay. We got that you is good, Heath. Thank you. Getting anybody online? Oh, yeah, if you haven't online, if you haven't put your name and everything in the chat section, if you would do that, Ann's asking that, that way we have a record of who was here. And I think roughly 35, 36 people between in person and online. So we had a real good turnout today. Does anybody have anything else that they want to bring up or discuss? Oh, why did you holler at me and you had to get up?
Hey, folks, North Carolina 811 will be participating with Piedmont Natural Gas at, I believe on April the 6th at the Charlotte Checkers. Safety Sam will be out there and we'll be out there with Piedmont for the hockey game. So if you don't attend, I would encourage you to. It is so much fun. We've been able to get out a couple times. Safety Sam's rung the gong to start the match, and just a fantastic event. Pretty family friendly and not terribly expensive. I know that, do you want to?
On April 2nd, along with, is it the 10th? Oh, I'm sorry, I got my dates mixed. April 10th, not the 2nd. Piedmont Natural Gas, along with Duke Energy, Badger, NC 811. We're hosting an event at our PSA site. That's the Pipeline Simulator Academy over on Hoskins. We're gonna offer 2 sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, because we can only have up to, excuse me, 50 participants at a time. But we're gonna do an excavator safety day for National Safe Digging Month. So more to come on that. We'll send out some invites and stuff probably sometime next week. Lunch will be served. Lunch will be served. That, oh yeah, you can. Yeah, we will send out a big email blast. Ann is gonna have that sent out. So more to come.
Thank you, Rania. Anything else we're forgetting?
Scott. Thank you, sir. Just the lead up to National Safe Digging Month, again, April's National Safe Digging Month. I've had a lot of folks reach out recently looking for Pipes Plus training. I know that Howard Corey, who's in the eastern part of the state, Howard's a liaison like me. I think in the last few days, he's done training for, and correct me if I'm wrong, about 1,200 folks for Pipes Plus training. So huge influx down there in the eastern part of the state. But if that's something you're interested in doing for your organization, please let me know. I'll be glad to set something up to get out. If you're just looking for a safety briefing from someone, I can do 5 steps to safe digging. I can make that last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. So if you've got time, let me know and we'll get together and make that happen.
Thank you, Tammy. Your name just went away from me right as I got ready to say, I know, huh? You got that cane. Let me get over here. No, I'm just kidding. Did everybody sign in on the sign-in sheet? That's one thing. All right, our next meeting is March 27th, same time as the LRPC meeting. Appreciate that, buddy. I know. Huh? You know, I read that. I sure did. Who wants to say something about that? I did. I just read something about it.
Yeah, Women in Construction Week. I know I tease you gentlemen every year because I always get the question, when's Men in Construction Week? Every other week of the year. Give the girls 1 week. Yeah, WIC Week, Women in Construction. If you have some ladies in your organization that are looking to do some networking, WIC is a NAWIC. It's the National Association of Women in Construction. Charlotte has its own chapter, Chapter 121. I believe they have been in existence for 57 or 58 years. We meet once a month. The third Tuesday of the month, kind of move spots around, but get a lot of ladies involved. I think currently we have around 100 women in that chapter. It's a great organization, both professionally and personally, but WIC Week is coming up. If you're interested in participating in any of the events, let me know and I will get some information out to you. But would love to invite you out to attend, or if you've got a great topic, we're always looking for speakers.